boys, Disney's Wish has been unfairly criticized. I know it's popular to hate on Disney, and look, it's fair enough because they have put out some shockers recently, and they really love to shove an agenda down a young man, particularly throat. We're given this awesome, charismatic character. He's a total Sigma, Magnifico. Like, he's a G, he's been looks maxing, he's been aura maxing, he's like a strong, masculine leader with good intentions. And then, boom, he just becomes the enemy of all people. He is just kind of scapegoated. It's a bit of a weird kind of story-like transition. It doesn't sit right on the palette. It doesn't feel right. It just feels kind of forced and like men are evil. So my bad, Disney. Sorry, I was born a man. Anyway, like besides that, and besides the bashing of traditional masculine values, which may be like a correction that needs to be done, like an overcorrection in culture. Magnifico, he was a classic Luciferian figure. Here we have this powerful, beautiful, most perfect angel. He lives up in his tower, and all of a sudden he thinks he is God. Like, so he's taking on these characteristics of God, right? He thinks he's better than God. So therefore he will take God's job of granting these wishes and these dreams, and he will be the one that controls it. So he already puts himself on this arrogant pedestal. And like, this whole movie is a warning against arrogance, right? So next thing you know, he is granting wishes that only go with his desire. So it's like very Luciferian. Like Lucifer, like Satan, will grant wishes and grant desires at a cost, and you kind of have to sell your soul. And I believe that if you just change dreams or wishes into soul, this movie would make a lot more sense. Because your soul has a will, and that will is kind of from a divine creator, that is from God. Anyway, this is a classic ego, a classic structure of ego trip, right? It's like, boom, ego, human mind knows best, I know best. Then all of a sudden, this girl, this disruptive girl, Asha, say what you may about the character, but the intentions behind it are pretty darn pure. Looks to God, looks to, the stars. And I think this is being kind of euphemized. You could have said God here, but obviously this wants to be more universally applicable. And so looking to the stars, if that's what people relate with, then go with that. Literally communicate what is going to be effective and what people are going to relate to. Either which way, you're communicating a good message then. So they go to a power. Asha goes to a power beyond earthly things, right? So Asha's disillusioned with this earthly power, has this selfless drive to grant her grandpa's wish, which is beautiful, right? It's actually not about her. It's about the wishes of those that she loves. And she goes to a heavenly power and gets divine power granted upon her, because her will aligns with God's will, with the universe's will, right? Then boom, she's wishing that people would claim back their soul, kind of claim back their dreams, their wishes, right? And people are resistant against it, right? They're stuck in the ego. They're stuck in these lies, these worldly lies. But anyway, instead of isolating the self as being like the best, being arrogantly in that tower, because she could have had earthly power, she goes among the people, goes into nature, goes into the world, and chooses to be among the world, right? She doesn't compromise on her integrity. Now, she sides with the service of others, selflessness. That's pure love. That is pure love. Now, say what you may about the annoyingness of the character. You might find the character annoying. I personally love the music. I like the song, so I was just vibing with it. I didn't read any of the negative reviews yet to kind of mess up my perspective. And essentially, she, at the end of the movie, because she finds connection with others, because she doesn't isolate herself, she is granted with this power to serve others, this ability to serve others, right? So then all of a sudden, we contrast this with Magnifico. Magnifico creates this ego power structure and ultimately traps himself in it. Think about the staff. He creates this staff. He uses this willpower, this earthly power, to create this kind of forbidden staff. And then all of a sudden, he's sucked into it. He's trapped into his own devilish intentions. And I think that's just a beautiful image. All of a sudden, Magnifico, at the very end of the movie, is being carried away in this little hell this little hell of his own, and he's there. Everything's dark around him, and he's just trapped with himself. And that's what hell is. Hell on earth is being trapped in your selfish little mind, being trapped in arrogance. It's eternal separation, eternal damnation, and you do that through arrogance, right? Through lacking the ability to have humility and trust in God, or whatever you want to call it, man. I hate pulling punches. That's just what I want to say. You can replace these words with anything that you want that works for you. Now, here's the thing. I think this is what Disney could have done better. Magnifico has strong masculine values, and I think if Disney is fair dinkum about portraying, having more representation and more, better examples and better role models and having a good influence on society, then you've got to start giving healthy, masculine, strong leaders who are humble, who are kind. So you got to stop creating and painting men to be evil, because I know a young man is going to watch that and they're going to think that that's the only way to live, right? They're going to start getting implanted with these subconscious messages that men are evil, that I'm a man, I am evil, and that's going to create a self-fulfilling prophecy. By demonizing your own nature, you're kind of perpetuating this problem. And yeah, look, there is a problem with male violence. There are problems. It's real out in the world. There's sex trafficking. There's all these horrible things happening. And I don't think young men especially need more bashing. I think now more than ever, young men need love. Young men need love, good examples, and masculinity needs healing, right? So you're not really getting anywhere, Disney, by bashing on another man, right? So that kind of hurts, to be honest. And you know what? I feel like if you stopped injecting these kind of superficial moral beatings and overtones and started telling real, authentic, beautiful stories, you would have far more impact and far more reach. I'm feeling pretty lucky because I can look past all these things. I still love and enjoy these stories. I thought it was a great movie. I really enjoyed the songs. I thought it was really cool. And you know what? Like, I still, even though this portrayal was a bit problematic of men, I still enjoyed it. And I think, it is valid because there are men out there who can power trip and who are just in a different position. So, as young men, we got to step up, be strong leaders to stop that. We got to step up and be strong leaders to be loving, to be kind, and to be healing, and to actually protect others, right? So we've got to be encouraging these sort of values. Look, at the end of the day, that is my perspective. I believe Disney's Wish was hard done by, but it's fair enough. I mean, Disney's got some work to do on healing that relationship with young men and telling authentic stories that aren't just political trash. Again, and that's all for me. Thank you. And overall, I would still recommend watching the movie Disney's Wish. Just look past all the trash and look to the deep stuff. Thank you.